Well, there you guys are. Look at you. I'm even wearing a jacket today. Hey, it's Kurt Von Onen, your host of Mañana morning check-in. It says we are streaming live. It's taken a little bit for the internet to catch up and show me on a browser, but looks like it's popping up now for you. I'll cut off the volume there so it doesn't make an echo. And you may be hearing some noise in the background. And uh, to on one hand, it's a distraction. It's a distraction. On the other hand, it's like signs of life, right? Neighbors getting construction work done, so you can hear a jackhammer in the background. There's a dog barking across the street. The neighborhood is active. Some people might get angry, upset, lose patience in that way. And for me, there's it's kind of a hey, we're all still moving forward. We're all still moving ahead. I, just last night, and this is one of those personal moments with my son, but I was driving with my son, and he had a scout meeting last night, and they were talking about things amongst the scouts, not the adult leaders in the scouts, but the scouts had a conversation about bad things happening right now all around globally. And so they were having this discussion about lack of freedom, or genocides, and things that 13 and 14-year-old boys like to talk about. And so I took a moment. It was the two of us in the car, and I said, hey, you know what, things are different than when I grew up. Things are really different than when I grew up. For one, I could do stuff and not have it caught on camera, but for two, when you had an altercation in my day, you'd punch somebody in the mouth. Nowadays, it seems like everybody's having an altercation, and these kids are getting this impression that like everything is topsy-turvy, everything, and everybody's evil, and they're getting these wholesale agreements in their minds that the whole world's going to hell in a handbasket. And I took that moment and I said, Hayden, think about all your friends. Are you friends with them? Or are they bad people? No, think of all the people that I know. I mean, they might have bad thoughts now and then, but overall, they're pretty good people. Oh yeah, they're pretty good people. I said, you need to remember, there are millions upon millions upon millions of really good, great people. Now, if you're gonna take me to task on scripture, we're all inherently bad. We're saved by God's grace. There's all of these things. Okay, but what I'm talking about is societal behavior. When we look at societal behavior, there are a lot of people that are basically good, basically amenable, basically, amicable in social situations. It's that we allow ourselves to focus on a minority that is bent on doing things that are contrarian, bent on doing things that do not seem correct, bent on things that do not find alignment with normal thinking. And unfortunately, those folks are getting the spotlight, and our kids are coming away with this weird sense of like the whole world's going to hell in a handbasket. And, there's some older folks that are echoing that, but I like to take these moments and go, hey, I understand this isn't the environment I would choose to raise you in. I wouldn't choose to have kids, be exposed to, masking and vaccine mandates and social distancing and all this stuff that's happened to our kids in the last couple of years. But realistically, overall, the community is strong. The community is good. The community at church is good. The community at the park is good. The community at the food store is good. When we're watching, things that we see on the news from global providers, and we look at all sources, not just one, but when we look at all these different sources, we see that there is a lot of community going on. And I wanted to make sure that I stressed that with Hayden, and as I launched this thing called Vaxpreneur, I'm very much in the same headspace. It's unfortunate. People are losing their jobs because of vaccine mandates. People are quitting their jobs because of vaccine mandates. People are just tired and fed up with the corporate circle jerking around of what's next. Do I go to the office? Do I not go to the office? Do I get paid? Do I not get paid? Do I get paid for travel? Do I not get paid for travel? Do I get a per diem when I'm working from home? No, you probably don't. And some of these people depended on this as a part of their income, and all of a sudden that's gone. Right. And so you're looking at this and you're going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, that's why we made a project called Vaxpreneur. And they're getting pretty loud again, so hopefully it's not interfering too much. But that's why we made this project Vaxpreneur. Vaxpreneur is built. It's built to be a community and to provide resources for people that find themselves new to self-employment. Again, not even maybe that as being the primary driver, right? I wanted to be self-employed. A lot of people don't want to be self-employed. They don't want the hassle of it. But newsflash, you might find yourself in that position. So, as I get this travel van ready to hit the road and go travel and not be dependent upon TSA and mask mandates and airlines and hotels and rental cars and all of that, as I get ready to travel that way on my own sustainable version of what makes sense, other people are going to have to make their own decisions about what makes sense for them. And I want to make sure that they have a resource that they can go to. So that's what this Vaxpreneur thing's all about. And so I'm sending out the call to other people, especially people that follow the Mañana channel. If you're a marketing expert and you want something to add to Vaxpreneur, let's have it. If you're a public speaker and you got something you want to add to Vaxpreneur, let's have a conversation about that. Let's do a discovery call and see what kind of alignment we have in that. If you've got a service that you want to offer at a discounted rate to people that have recently lost their jobs due to vaccine mandates, I definitely want to hear from you. If you're a printer, if you are someone that makes, wraps for cars, here's the deal. We're going to be trying to guide a lot of people into, hey, what does self-employment look like? What's the quickest pathway from idea to revenue that we have? And how can we give people some resources to help lead the way for them? Whether it be in marketing, social media, sales and sales closing. I mean, gosh, I just participated in the Grant Cardone 10X challenge. And, Grant's aggressive, super aggressive, especially with his sales techniques and the emails and the packaging and the offers and all that. It just keeps coming, right? It just keeps coming. But what does he do? He's a sales coach. I mean, he has a lot of other things he's got a lot of arrows he's trying to stuff in that quiver. But read the 10X book. It's about how to make sales. It's about how to move forward. And, these folks are going to need a lot of that. They're going to need a lot of that kind of help. And, they might not have access to a Russell Brunson or a Tony Robbins or a Grant Cardone at this stage. But they're going to have access to people like me and maybe people like you. So if that's the case, I encourage you to get in touch with me about this Vaxpreneur project, because I think it's really kind of cool. Now, yesterday, I went on and on and on about how, when it's time to push, we push. When it's time to chill, we chill. And we relaxed, right? I went on about that a little bit. And, some people heard about the trip, the camping trip. And they said, well, what were the dunes like? I got some messages that were like, hey, show us a picture of the dunes, or, what was it like? Where was it? It's in Southern California, but where was it? And so I'm going to step off the beaten path a little bit today in today's message, and I'm going to share my screen with you. And this is something that I do routinely when I travel, I'm doing a business consulting gig, I take lots of pictures. And so I was out here, we can see that gas was $5.89 a gallon in Southern California. For some of you might see that and be a little bit in shock. I was going to get one of those little Biden stickers that says, I did that. All right. But $5.89 a gallon for gas. And that was at Roy's. This place was the inspiration for, Speed, Lightning McQueen. And so we stopped there and took some pictures with the scouts. There was a great train that we saw, a post office that was abandoned. This is a mine where they had gotten all the iron ore out. This is in World War II, and I was talking about this yesterday. In World War II, people dropped what they were doing and they supported the war effort, right? And one of those was this giant mine here. I mean, that's 300-400 feet down, right? And all of this is iron ore. You can see right here where it's kind of oxidized on the side. It's iron ore that was taken out, and they built warships and stuff with the iron from that. And there's a picture of the boys out doing their thing, checking out the mine. And this was the sunrise that I woke up to, with the sun coming over the mountains. The dune is to the left of this picture. And but man, to be out in nature. So people say, why do you want a camper van? Why are you going to travel in a camper van? Because I'm going to be able to park and wake up and see sights like this. That's why, right? When I did the camper van thing and went to Texas when I worked with BRP, I camped next to lakes, and I woke up next to a beautiful lake every morning with surrounded by wildlife and mountain bike trails. And I was able to exercise, be immersed in nature, be calm, mentally stable, not feel anxious, and then take a super nice hot shower right there at the national park, and just enjoy the trip, right? So we got a couple things there. I want to get to the picture of the dunes. See if this will come up. This is of course, Google's taking its time. Yep. Yeah, these are videos. And so this gives you an idea of how steep it was. And this is me, and Rich is walking down behind me, but you can see how you just kind of sink and slough your way down the trail. And then we've got a couple more pictures. This is at the very top, and this is one of those big scenic pictures, and our campsite was like over here somewhere. And so we hiked all the way across this and then climbed the dune. And the dune was, I don't know, 12 or 1500 feet up, maybe a little bit more. But just like I ran through this with you, like a slideshow, right? Like Grandpa's back from taking the tour with Grandma, and he's going to sit us in the living room and hook up the carousel with all the slides, right? And describe it. This is the way that I communicate with people. When I go out and I do a business consult, I will go into that business. I'll take pictures of the outside of the business, of the inside of the business, of things that really catch my eye, things that are good, things that aren't so good, right? Displays that are out of whack, lighting that's blown out, bad paint, dirt in the bathroom, right? Those kinds of things. And when I submit my proposal to the client, I have all of these photos that I embed into the proposal to visually make my point that I'm also making in writing. For instance, I can train you on communication all day long, but if the bathroom you're asking customers to use is filthy, that is communicating more than anything I'm training your staff to do. And it's those kinds of things that, I ping off of when I'm doing my business consults. And so I just want to kind of share with you a little bit about my process there. We are looking at it. It's people will say, Kurt, you're going in 9 different directions. What are you doing? And I'm not. It's the one direction. Mañana no Mas is the umbrella. I'm a business consultant. I focus on communication and leadership with a little blend of technology to show people communication and leadership techniques grow their business. Okay, so that's the Mañana no Mas thing. That's the umbrella. A couple of our big projects, the Power Sport Academy. It's our biggest project. I love it. I love to work with motorcycle dealerships, help them grow their parts and labor sales and all that. The other thing, Challenge Connection. People are running these online challenges on Facebook, and they're falling prey to censorship and all kinds of things. They're losing control over their challenges because of the platform. So let's have a more organized platform that's not subject to censorship. Okay, so we got that, right? So we've got the Power Sport Academy and the Challenge Connection. And then our newest thing, Vaxpreneur. Vaxpreneur is basically an extension of Mañana no Mas, except that we're targeting an audience and offering them, I won't say a lesser value, but we're offering them the ability to get in at a lower capitalization, right? And so let's have a look at your idea. Let's help you get to a position where you can launch. Do you need a website? Do you need a community base? Do you need, product development? Do you need to build branding and brand awareness? Or are you past the brand awareness stage and you need to work on basically like marketing and sales, right? Marketing's different than sales, but you need to work on marketing. And then how are we going to, transition from marketing to sales, and how are we going to track revenue and growth? And those are all the things that Mañana no Mas can help with as a business consultant that uses communication, leadership, and technology, right? And so, folks, I'm super, super stoked. I mean, here we are. It's Tuesday. It's October 19th. The neighborhood is alive, and things are moving forward. I put out that video for Vaxpreneur the other day that's like, you're not alone. They want you to think you're alone sometimes. right now I'm starting to think a lot of people want you to think that you are alone. You're not alone. Whatever niche you're in, for instance, there is the transportation industry. Out of the transportation industry, you've got all these sections, right? You've got aviation, automotive, power sports, marine, RV, mountain bike and bicycle, right? All these things basically fall within transportation. Okay. So I niched down. I said, okay, I'll take power sports. And then I wasn't done niching down, right? Some people are into 20 groups and all these things with motorcycle dealerships. I said, no, I don't need the whole thing. I just want to focus on fixed operations. I just want to focus on service because that's my sweet spot. And so, you have the transportation industry. Then I take power sports, and then I say just the service departments, right? And I niche down. And you know what? You might think, oh, that makes you feel like you're alone. No, I'm not alone. That's a thriving community of professionals. There are thousands upon thousands of service writers and service managers out there. You're not alone. When you say, I'm not going to take the vaccine, and they go, well, why won't you take the vaccine, Bob? Everyone else is taking the vaccine. Everyone else isn't taking the vaccine, Bob. If everyone else was taking the vaccine, there wouldn't be such a vibrant campaign to tell you that everyone else is taking the vaccine. Okay. I'm not anti-vax. Okay. I have an opinion, but I'm not anti-vax. I'm just not supporting this, right? The way they're doing it, the way that they're manipulating people, and the way that they are pushing this, it just doesn't feel right. I can look at facts, I can look at feelings, but in this situation, the facts and the feelings are pointing me in a direction that says something doesn't feel right. And when I see millions of other people, we're not alone, millions upon millions upon millions of other people that feel the same way, I want to make sure that there's something out there that kind of brings us back together, because we are not alone. All right. According to the studies, the educationally speaking, the most vaccine hesitant people, the biggest people group that is vaccine hesitant, they have PhDs. So when someone looks at you and says, stop being so stupid, just take the vaccine, the most educated people in our country are not taking the vaccine. I'll follow them. I listen to what our president says on a microphone, and I can't understand half of what comes out of his mouth. So if someone with a PhD says, I don't think that's a good idea, I'm probably going to look into why he thinks that's not a good idea. Just me. The other side of the coin is I'm not upset at people that took the vaccine. If anything, I feel for you, because once you take it, you can't untake it, right? Once it's in you, it's in you. And so when I look at what I'm being told are facts, when I look at, the VAERS reporting, when I look at the numbers, I'm not angry. I feel for them. I have a sense of compassion, and I'm not really looking to argue with people. A lot of people are throwing up all these arguments, pro and con. What's the sense? If someone already took the vaccine, what are you arguing with them about anyway? They can't untake it, right? So just support them. Just support them. When I look at people that lose their jobs because they refuse to take the vaccine, people go, it wouldn't be that bad if they just take the vaccine. No. They made a decision very similar to the other side. Let's just support them. We need to support everybody wherever they're at. We need to come together and support everyone, no matter where they're at. And I think that's super, super important. That's one of the messages that Mañana has been trying to promote this whole time, and well before that. Folks, that's my soapbox for the day. I wanted to share the pictures to let you know how cool it was to go and relax over the weekend. But people had asked, they said, hey, what did it look like? So I want to make sure that I shared. For those that didn't ask, but were curious, I shared with you. So you got that. And then the other side of the coin, folks, is I just, where are you at? What are you doing? How are you paying it forward? And if you're not, how can I encourage you to do so? I'm not saying you have to give everything away for free. Vaxpreneur is not going to be free. Vaxpreneur will have some free elements, but there are paid services that'll be available to people that join that community, because we want to help them grow as quickly as possible in their option to become self-employed, even if that wasn't their first choice. So I encourage you, find a way to pay it forward, find a way to stay positive, and find your own path to find an opportunity within the obstacles. Okay. I know I keep saying that, but I mean it. So have yourself a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow.